What's going on, guys? Just here back to my channel, and today we'll be doing a review for Monday Night Raw, that the last day in Europe and stuff, and in London, England. So let's get to it then. Raw opens with "Let's go, Cena, Cena sucks" chants throughout the arena, and John Cena's music hits, and he makes his way to the ring before Cena can say anything. Cody Rhodes' music hits, and he makes his way out as well. Rose tells Cena, "We have heard him talk a lot, and all he's going to do is verbally attack Cody Rhodes." Rose makes fun of his own lisp and tells Cena he must be annoyed. He'll be facing the guy who was Stardust at WrestleMania, and then he makes fun of his neck tattoo, and then continues to mention other things people make fun of him for. Rose says Cena's been lying as his words don't match his actions. Rhodes says Cena cared about the fans and Rose at some point, so Rose wants to know the real reason for Cena turning on him. Cena says he won't punch down to Rhodes' level just so he can protect Rhodes, and says he will bury Rhodes like he buried everyone else. He talks about people saying he buries talent, and he says he buried mediocrity and he's talent. He tells Rhodes his ego outmatches his ability, and that Rhodes has just written Cena's coattails. He says Rhodes disgusts him because he stole Cena's formula, and says Rhodes is too rehearsed, and that's his reason. He tells Rhodes he's con the world and believing in mediocrity, and gets them singing catchy songs. He says Rose doesn't act, look, or work like Cena, and that Rose doesn't act, look, or work like he really is, because he's a lie. Cena says he has worked too hard for someone, a nipple baby, to hold such on to a title when he's nothing more than a common fan. Cena says the last real champion will take Rose's belt and leave him being who he really is, an errand boy who got lucky. Rose says maybe Cena's right, and maybe he was chosen, but says the W Universe chose him, and who chose Cena? A man in an office who we don't talk about anymore. Yeah, we all know who that is. Anyways, he tells Cena he has wrestling in his family, and Cena is a company created talent. He tells Cena all Cena has created as disgruntled fans, and Cena sorry guys, stupid ad in case it's blocking me, and tells Cena he left for Hollywood. That doesn't make him a great champion. He asks Cena between the two of them who sold out to The Rock. Rose tells Cena that Cena is still his hero, but he's also a piece of shit. Cena tells Rose he's full of shit, and says he has never been protected like other WWE talent is, and no one has put him down, and that's why Cena is always here, and he takes whatever garbage he was given and made it great. He tells Rhodes that Rose left the company, and all he does is steal money from billionaire kids, whereas Cena makes billionaires. Rose says that at least people don't chant "You can't wrestle" to him. Cena and Rose look as though they're going to scrap, and Cena goes for a cheap shot, and Rose hits him with a crossroads. Damn, man. Ooh, man, they have a lot of words with each other during Raw, man. It was crazy. Anyway, so finally we had to get our first match going and stuff. The New Day, Kofi Kingston, and Xavier Woods versus New Catch Republic, Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne. Bate and Woods start the bout. The men lock up, and Bate tags Dunne and hits a head scissors, and while Dunne comes into the ring, Dunne attacks Woods' arm and tags in Bate. Woods is double teamed, and Kingston runs in and is sent outside the ring with Woods. Bate takes out Woods as Dunne takes out Kingston, and we cut a commercial. Back on Raw, Woods slams Kingston onto Dunne, and then covers Dunne for a near fall. Dunne chops Woods and tries to tag out, but can't. Woods throws Dunne into the ropes and chokes him out on the ropes. Woods drop kicks Dunne into the rope and covers for a 2 count. Dunne chops Woods some more, and Woods delivers a forearm and tags in Kingston. Dunne is double teamed on the apron, and Kingston hits a forearm from the top rope and covers for 2. Kingston locks Dunne in an armbar submission, and Dunne tags out to Bate, who comes flying comes flying in and takes down Kingston. Bate hits a cradle German suplex, and then airplane spins Kingston. Then is tagged in, and Kingston is double teamed and covered for a 2 count. But Woods breaks the pin. Dunn throws Woods out of the ring, and Dunn gets smoked with SOS by Kingston, who covers for a near fall. Woods is tagged in, and Dunn kicks both Kingston and Woods and tags out to Bate. Bate connects with the punch, and Dunn is tagged in, and Woods is double teamed. Kingston gets Bate out of the ring and is tagged in. New Day hits Daybreak and covers Dunn for the win. So winners are the New Day. Alright, Kelly Kelly talks to the New Day as they leave the ring. Woods says they deserve a title shot and want it now. Kingston says they demand what they owe, and that's a shot at titles. The War Raiders' music hit, and they make their way out to confront Kingston. It was the two teams stare at each other, and the New Day retreat. Backstage, Jimmy Uso is taping up his wrist when Jay Uso comes up to him and says he'll feel better if he can't be out there with Jimmy when he faces Gunther. Jimmy says tonight he'll beat Gunther, and Jay will do the same at WrestleMania. Jay tells Jimmy to be careful. Gunther is shown walking backstage ahead of his match. Alright, Bianca Belair is seen backstage getting notes from other referees on how to officiate the Rhea Ripley/the Io Sky match. Alright, second match coming up, Gunther vs. Jimmy Uso. We get the bell, and the men stand in the ring and stare at each other. They circle they circle the ring and lock up and start with chops and punches. Gunther kicks down Uso and throws him out of the ring. Uso is thrown into the barricades, and Gunther chops Uso. Uso is chopped around the ring and thrown into the barricades around the ring. Gunther tries to powerbomb Uso, but Uso counters with the back body drop. Uso hits a suicide dive and then gets on the top rope and tries for an Uso splash, but splashes into Gunther's knees. Gunther gets on the top rope, and Uso suplexes Gunther off the top rope. Uso gets on the top rope and hits a Uso splash and covers for a near fall. The fight rolls outside the ring. Gunther chops Uso and slams him on the apron and then clotheslines Uso outside the ring, and we get a commercial break. We come back to the show and see Gunther slapping Uso around. Uso comes back with kicks and chops of his own and hits a belly in the back suplex on Gunther, followed by a super kick. Gunther drop kicks Uso and powerbombs Uso and covers. Gunther stops the pin to assault Uso some more. Gunther kicks Uso and clotheslines him and covers and breaks the pin again to torture Uso some more. Gunther clobbers Uso's spine and then hits a sleeper hold on Uso, and Uso gets knocked out. So winner by KO, Gunther. After the match, Gunther attacks Jimmy some more, and this calls out Jay Uso to make the save. Jay spears Gunther and starts punching him. Gunther runs off through the crowd, and Jay runs into the ring to check on Jimmy. We come back from break, and we see Jimmy Jimmy being helped to the back by Jay and medical staff. Gunther comes running out of nowhere and take out the brothers, and then begins to attack Jay, sending him into the steel steps. Gunther powerbombs one of the security guards onto the steel steps and then sends Jay into the ring post. Gunther zip ties one of Uso's hands and zip ties him to the ropes. Gunther then makes Jay watch him destroy his brother Jimmy. Gunther then taunts a shackled Jay with his title. Jimmy gets clocked with Gunther's title, and then Gunther then talks smack to Jay. Jimmy Uso has been busted open, and Jay is livid. Gunther then power bombs Jimmy and proceeds to punch him in the ring while Jay tries to break free. Gunther runs Jimmy's blood on his own body and then tastes Jimmy's blood. Gunther then puts Jimmy back in a super hold as Jay tries to save Jimmy. Officials run in to break the hold. We are backstage with the Judgment Day. They talk about making up, and now that garbage is behind them, they can focus on bringing gold to the Judgment Day. Finn Balor brings Raquel Rodriguez and losing her match, and the men leave. Liv Morgan tells Rodriguez they need to figure out what to do with Lyra Valkyria and Bayley. Alright, third match coming up, Penta and Braun Breaker versus the Judgment Day. Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio with Carlito. Penta and Mysterio start off, and Balor distracts Penta, allowing Mysterio to start off pounding away on Penta. Penta hits a head scissor and tags Breaker. Breaker takes down Mysterio and slams him. Mysterio tags Balor, and Breaker hits a Power slam on Balor. Penta is tagged in, and he gets Balor sends him tags in, and he gets kicked. Balor sends him out of the ring. Mysterio gets a back breaker by Penta and is sent outside. Penta hits a suicide dive on Balor and Mysterio, and we get a commercial break. Back on Raw, Balor has Penta on the mat and stomps him. Balor punches Penta in the corner and delivers some shoulder checks. Mysterio is tagged in, and he does the same to Penta. Balor is tagged in, and he stomps Penta and tags out to Mysterio, who flips onto Penta and covers for a 2 count. Mysterio tries for the three amigos, but Penta counters and hits a backstabber on Mysterio. Breaker and Balor are tagged in, and Breaker punches and throws Balor around. Mysterio and Balor try to suplex Breaker, but he suplexes them both. Breaker hits a running forearm on Balor and attacks Penta. Penta hits a toe sling blade and covers Balor for 2. Mysterio is tossed outside the ring, and Penta super kicks Balor. Penta tries for a Mexican to short and then accidentally speared by Breaker. Mysterio battles Breaker outside the ring, and Balor hits the Coupe de Grace on Penta for the win. So winners are the Judgment Day. Damn. Alright, anyways, Chad Gable is with Adam Pearce backstage. But Gable has doctor's note saying he's still sick, but he says he'll be better to compete in his hometown next week. Pearce says he won't compete because of the doctor's note. Alpha Academy comes in, and they want to discuss Otis and Tozawa competing in the title picture, as well as Maxine, as Maxine competing for some gold as well. Captain Kelly is backstage. Braun Breaker Penta runs in all pissed because of the accidental spear, and Breaker tells him he needs to watch his mouth as officials separate them. Alright, we have a promo coming up with AJ Styles and Logan Paul too. AJ Styles' music hits, and Styles makes his way. Well, he was already in the ring, so anyway, Styles gets on the mic and says he's been waiting patiently for Logan Paul to call him out, but he had gotten tired of waiting, and tells Paul to come out and say what he needs to say. Paul makes his way out, taunting London as he walks out. Paul gets on the mic and says no one is on his level, and says we are all on his time. He says if he wants to make everyone wait, we will. We will. Paul says he came out here to be nice, and he's had a change of heart. He's a dad now, and he wants to teach his daughter about forgiveness. So he forgives Styles for their squabble at MSG. Styles says he has a daughter too, so he forgives Paul as well. Paul asks for what, and Styles says he forgives Paul for being the biggest douchebag to ever step foot in this ring. Damn, that was a good one. He tells Paul the crowd doesn't care about fame and money, and it's all about talent. He asks Paul what he will do with all this tapped whatever talent. Paul says he would ask Styles what to do, but Styles is below him. Styles tells Paul to make sure his mouth doesn't write a check his ass cash his ass cat cash. Paul asks if that's a threat. Styles says he's in the ring with his gear, so is this a threat? Paul says he doesn't fight for free, and tells everyone they're broke. Paul says they have a match at WrestleMania and tries to cheap shot Styles. Styles attacks Paul, and the fight spills outside. Paul is smashed into the announce table and then sent in the ring. Paul low blow Styles using the ropes, and then hits the pulverizer on Styles, laying him out in the ring. Alright, Jackie Redmond talks to Live Valkyria backstage and asks Valkyria what her next steps are. Valkyria says Bayley is the one person who has beaten her, and she needs to prove to herself she can beat Bayley. She tells Redmond she's defending her title next week against Bayley. Alright, the Judgment Day is backstage celebrating. Finn Balor says he's got the momentum, and he's going to Pierce to ask for a title match and leaves. Liv Morgan tells Dominic it's weird that Balor says he won when it was both of them. She says she's going to talk to Pierce to get Dom a title shot. So, alright, main event coming up. WWE Women's World Championship match with special guest referee Bianca Belair, Io Sky, who is a champion, versus Rhea Ripley. Alright, the women lock up The women lock up at the bell. Sky keeps Ripley in a headlock and drags her around the ring. Belair around the ring. I'm sorry. Belair breaks the hold and they lock up again. Ripley shoulder checks Sky against the turnbuckle and then continues to punch Sky. Belair breaks this up, and Sky then attacks Ripley and punches her against the turnbuckles. Belair breaks this up and breaks this up again. Sky and Ripley trade pinning attempts, and then Sky drop kicks Ripley, and Ripley runs at Sky and clotheslines her, and we cut commercial break. Back to Raw. Sky has Ripley on the mat in a submission hold. Ripley powers out of the hold, and Sky punches her in the middle of the ring. Ripley fires back and with several clotheslines and slams Sky down and covers her for a near fall. Ripley argues with Belair, saying it was a slow count. She hits a stunner and then punches Ripley, followed by smoking her with a dropkick. Sky hits a top rope missile dropkick on Ripley, sending Ripley out of the ring. Sky hits a suicide dive crossbody on Ripley outside the ring, and then goes for a moonsault, but Ripley slams Sky on the apron. Sky tries for a poison rana, but both women get knocked out. Nick get knocked down. I'm sorry, I say it like that. Get knocked down. Sky and Ripley trade punches in the middle of the ring. Sky stomps on Ripley's midsection and then climbs the turnbuckles. Ripley hits Sky on the ropes and climbs up with her. Sky hits a driver, countering Ripley's Samoan drop off the top rope on Ripley and covers for her too. Sky connects with a bullet train attack on Ripley and climbs the ropes again. Ripley stops her and Sky tries for the top again and goes for a splash, but Ripley headbutts her and covers for two. Ripley tries for a riptide, but Sky counters and Ripley hits a razor's edge and kicks Sky and covers for a near fall. Ripley tries for another riptide, but it's countered and Sky rolls her up for two. Ripley accidentally kicks Belair and then kicks Sky, hits riptide on Sky and covers it, but there is no referee as Belair is laid out. Belair gets to her feet as she and Ripley exchange words, and Ripley covers again, but Sky kicks out. Ripley gets into Belair's face, and Sky attacks Ripley. Ripley starts beating on Sky, and Belair breaks it up, and Ripley hits Belair. Sky accidentally missile drop kicks Belair, and Ripley then attacks Sky. Belair calls her the bell and says she's done. Double disqualification. Alright, after the match, Ripley goes for after the match, Ripley goes to Belair and they start fighting. Sky hits a moonsault to the outside, and Ripley to the outside, taking out Ripley and Belair. Ripley and Belair. I'm sorry. Ripley is sent back in the ring, and Sky are punching her, and Belair runs in and attacks Sky. Ripley has a riptide on both Sky and Belair. Ripley begins to leave, and she heads to the back and hits a middle rope riptide on Belair, and then stands in the ring with a title as the show goes up there. So, yeah, so I have a feeling it's gonna be a triple threat match after this is over, which we'll probably announce it next week. I don't know, but yeah, pretty sure it's gonna be a triple threat match for that title and stuff. So yeah. Anyways, it was a good show today and stuff, and man, Cody Rhodes and John Cena, man, holy shit, they exchanged a lot of words with each other and stuff, but it was good. I enjoyed it. Pretty badass segment, promo segment, how you want to say it. But anyways, that was his first review. Hope you like it and not whatever and stuff. So like, subscribe, hit the button, leave a comment. If you guys want to leave a comment stuff, I don't care what you guys do. And that was it. And I'll see you guys this Wednesday night for AW Dynamite. Alright, laters.